Hi, Assalamualaikum. I am Siti Khadijah binti Hisham, and today I would like to share about the Lion of Allah. Perhaps one of the most important figures in the Islamic history aside from Prophet Muhammad is the Lion of Allah. For some, he is the uncle of Prophet. However, for some, he is just a brave man. But who truly is Hamzah Ibnu Abdul Mutalib? Hamzah bin Abdul Mutalib bin Hashim bin Abdul Manaf bin Qusay was born in the tribe of Quraysh. He is the uncle of the Prophet through the Prophet's mother, Aminah binti Wahab, who is the first cousin of Hamzah's mother, Wahab binti Abdul Manaf bin Zurrah. The relationship between the Prophet and Hamzah is not only drawn by being uncle and nephew, but also being brothers who were fed by a single mother, a slave of Hamzah's father. It had been more than 2 years since Prophet Muhammad had preached about the revelations of Angel Gabriel to him. It was a hard and harsh start for the Prophet because the wider community in Mecca had been negative about his message. He was ridiculed and vilified. He was even considered a madman or some sort of magician by others. One of the leading opponents of Islam was Abu Jahl. One day, while walking near Mount Asafa, the Prophet was met by Abu Jahl. Abu Jahl insulted the Prophet as well as the message preached by him and even the oneness of Allah. But Islamic thinkers reported that Abu Jahl was not only content in insulting and ridiculing the Prophet, for he also hit him with stone which caused bleeding of his head. Asad Nawawi noted that one of the servants rushed to Hamzah while he was returning home, recalling what had happened this way. He said, "O Abu Marah, have you seen the treatment that your nephew Muhammad received at the hands of Abu Jahl? The latter found him to be sitting down. He then harmed him, cursed him, and he did that which he detested." Upon hearing their story, Hamzah was very angry and went to find Abu Jahl, and when he did, he struck him with the bow, causing bleeding of his head. Then Hamzah went on to say, "Do you curse Muhammad while I am upon his religion? I say, as he says, now retaliate if you are able to do so." The Quraysh couldn't believe that Hamzah had truly embraced the religion of Muhammad, but worse, they couldn't believe that the Prophet got someone who would protect him. This means that they could no longer ridicule and vilify him without fear that Hamzah would retaliate and avenge their needs towards the Prophet. After the incident, Hamzah declared throughout the Makkah that he believed the message of his nephew. Ever since then, Hamzah remained the staunchest supporter of the Prophet, and he had been used much by Allah to spread the message throughout Mecca in our place through the religion. During this battle, the Prophet donned his armor and was ready to join the battle. The plan was to crush the enemy outside the city of Uhud. When Hamzah and his men met the enemies, he fought with all of his energy and even killed several Quraysh. They were winning the battle and the enemies were already retreating, but due to the disobedience of the archer, the group weakened. The Prophet was fighting as well and he was advancing, but in this battle, Hamzah was killed. Islamic thinkers noted that the death of Hamzah was out of deception and trickery. There was a woman whose father and brothers were killed in the Battle of Badr, and the woman wanted revenge. She ordered a slave to kill Hamzah with a spear with the reward of freedom. Washi bin Harb, the assassin of Hamzah, later embraced Islam. But during the battle, Washi did not aim to kill anybody but Hamzah. He waited for a timing and an opportunity that would give him the advantage to kill a great warrior. For if Washi attacked Hamzah earlier, he could have been killed by Hamzah. In the hot spot of the battle, Hamzah was able to maneuver and kill several Quraysh leaders, but he fell in a ditch. It was the timing that Washi had been waiting. With the stomach of Hamzah in vulnerability and with the realization that Hamzah won't be able to move faster in the ditch, Washi threw the spear toward Hamzah. The spear pierced the navel of Hamzah through his leg. It was a tragic and for a great military general of the Prophet and the early Muslim crusades. When the Prophet knew of the death of Hamzah, it was a moment of grief for the Prophet because it was a loss of a brother, an uncle, and a great protector who provided him with safety and the care when the spreading of the message was still kept in secret for fear of the people of Mecca. During the funeral, the Prophet led the prayer for Hamzah. It was a silent one and it was a day of mourning. But Hamzah left lasting legacies that until today can still be seen. Of course, the people had been thankful for what he did for Islam, but Hamzah left lessons worth to remember. First, he taught the lesson of fighting for the right cause. Hamzah fought with all his might to protect the Prophet and the spreading of message of Allah, even until his last breath. It was a testament of commitment to endure hardship and pain for the sake of what is right. Second, Hamzah left a legacy of valor. It is time for Muslims to stand up to their religion and do what's the best. Their faith must not be kept secret, but must be spread abroad. There is no time for a Muslim to tarry in thinking, for there are still many people who haven't heard of the message and are still kept in the bondage of other religions. Indeed, Hamzah is the lion of Allah. That's all for me. Thank you.